Hello, my name is Hannah Starling.
And I'm Amy Winch. We attend the Billericay School in Year 12 and we are going to be talking about what technologies we have used and the skills we have learned.
During the process of creating our 2 to 3 minute opening sequence, we have gained knowledge and experience in media technology that has improved our media film's quality and also benefited us for future projects.
To gain an understanding of filmmaking and camera shots, we were issued a preliminary task in which we had to demonstrate the use of 3 filmmaking techniques: match on action, shot reverse shot, and 180-degree roll.
The narrative from our preliminary task was a conversation between the teacher and a pupil after an incident had occurred. I used shot reverse shot during the conversation that took place, a match on action when the teacher was walking into the room, and I obeyed the 180-degree rule throughout.
The narrative from our preliminary task was a conversation between 2 students about some work, where I also used the same 3 techniques as Hannah.
Before we entered the filmmaking or editing stage, we had to do research and planning for the opening sequence. The first thing we had to decide on was the narrative. We decided on doing a horror/thriller. This was a decision because we enjoy films such as Saw, The Hills Have Eyes and Silence of the Lambs, which are all similar genres. Technology played a huge part in the production of our film. We used websites such as YouTube, Vimeo and Art of the Titles to watch opening sequences of similar genres, listing conventions of opening sequences and analysing them in depth. YouTube is convenient as it now allows anyone who has access to the internet to view videos. This means that anyone can post videos that are then available for the rest of the world to watch. This is an example of democratisation of filmmaking.
Vimeo differs from YouTube because Vimeo is a more professional one of the 2 sites. On Vimeo, you have more control over the look and feel of any video that you have enabled on your site,
including what is shown on the video, the size dimensions of the player and the colour of any text. Also, the quality of the video is much higher on Vimeo, as you can get more professional videos rather than sneezing pandas, and you're not limited to 10 minutes as you are on YouTube. It allows you to show bigger films.
The planning stage involved us creating storyboards, screenplays and the mood board.
The mood board was created on Photoshop, which incorporated images to our film.
The planning stage then took us to creating a PowerPoint presentation that we presented to the class that included aspects of a film such as character profiles, shot type, narrative details and location shots.
After the presentation, we received constructive criticism to make the film the best opening sequence we could.
Photoshop allows the user to not only edit a photo, but it allows users to create an image. Photoshop allowed us to change the opacity of the blood splatter so it didn't cover the other photos. Photoshop was not the best program to use. It works by alternating individual pixels in an image as opposed to a vector drawing diagram, which draws points, lines and objects mathematically. Photoshop works best with images that have complex textures, blends and photorealism, but throughout our work we had discovered that Photoshop is a good vector drawing diagram as long as the image does not need to be scaled and you do not need specialist CAD drawing tools.
During the research planning, as a class we learnt about democratisation of filmmaking, prices and development of cameras, editing software and sites such as YouTube and Vimeo are now much more accessible and affordable, so anyone has the opportunity to create a film. Although the quality of the filmmaking will differ between someone who lacks experience and the guidance of a media student, aspects such as mise-en-scene, match on action, 180-degree roll and camera composition is normally taught, so it improves the quality of the film.
The hardware we used for our opening sequence was familiar to us, which gave us a head start into ensuring great quality. The camera we used for our opening sequence was a Canon 600D. The specification for this camera ensured us to create a high quality film. This camera was ideal for when we wanted to film our opening sequence because we wanted to film it at night at a church. It allowed us to do this because it has many features such as high quality lens, 18 megapixel CMOS, higher ISO 6400 and EOS 1080p movie Full HD.
To edit our opening sequence we used Final Cut Express. We came across countless problems for our editing. Our problems mostly occurred when it came to editing the match on action clips and the lighting were needed to be right to make the shots look realistic. To overcome these problems we used YouTube to find online tutorials.
Convergence was a huge aspect of the production of our opening sequence. YouTube was used at the beginning to watch opening sequence which enabled us to analyse them, and it then used again to publish the final product to receive feedback.
Tumblr was used throughout the entire project to blog all of our details, research and planning and editing.
We use Adobe After Effects CS6. This was used to create the Starling and Winch production titles and the MW Film Distribution Company titles. We first started making the logo, which we use Adobe Photoshop to put the Starling and Winch behind the text to make it seem more in tune with each other. We then saved it as a Photoshop document file. We then opened it in After Effects and created a new composition with the resolution of 1920 by 1080 HD resolution. So when we made it its full resolution, if we wanted to scale it down, it would not lose too much quality.
During the editing of our film, we had problems with sound. The sound on certain clips was either enhanced or muted, as there was unnecessary ambient sounds on some clips. For the MW film titles, we downloaded a free copyright sound that we thought would be effective for the blue light that shoots across the screen. This added an alerting effect to the titles, making it more interesting and to enhance the genre.